Hi, October. As I get myself situated for doing this. Super hot. Yeah. I gotta turn the fan up, so excuse me. Hey, Ryan. Yes, a different room today. We're in my living room, or part of my living room. um, it's actually really cold in here, but I am sweating like crazy. While I was taking my shower to prep for this, they're like, "Hey, let's trans channel." I'm like, "No, I don't have another person in here with me to pay attention to all the other things. Like we can merge." Yeah, is my internal temperature is just going. So, hopefully the video feed is gonna run much better today than on Sunday. I asked them to please help the video feed. Hi, Teresa. So I'm just kind of babbling for a few minutes to let everybody get their notifications and log in if they want to. And then we're going to dive into the topic of today, which is I was told I'm a healer, and what the hell does that mean? Cool. Thank you, October. It's hopefully they're going to behave. If you hear a whizzing sound start up, that kind of drowns me out a little bit. That's my laptop cooling itself down, and I have to try to pull my energy back away from the computer because I overheated. I'm already on battery number 2, and I have to replace it again because I'm frying them. Cup of the day is a Starbucks cup. Raspberry herbal tea, for those that give a shit. Hi, Liz. If you're seeing smoke off to my side, I have an incense burning to help me calm down. And my vision wanders a lot. And I got the outdoors to my left and the room all to my right, and my room's really busy. They came today to either kick my ass or they're going just a little kick in the ass because they know I'm really nervous doing these things. So, oh, you're getting blue throat chakra. I went with a white shirt today to try to zone my vibration a bit and my energy down. So, and I hate wearing white. So, all right. See, I sucked my battery dry already. Or they did, because it was a full charge just before I went live. All right. That's okay. We're plugged in now. So, topics today. And just know that I don't write notes and I don't plan out what is to be said. I leave it to spirit. They give me a topic. And I'm really glad this one is today, because this got planned like in the middle of September, actually in August, and then I canceled everything. But anyway, so but good timing, right? With all the insanity going on. If you notice me drift and my speech kinds of changes, just know that that is okay. It is my team merging, and I've got the council here today with me as well. Ace is here. God, I don't know who else is here, but they're making it really warm, so that's okay. Hi, Carol. Hey, Anna. I've been told I'm a healer, and what does that mean? So first we're going to go into the soul aspect about this topic and then bring it into our lives. Healers are energetic transformers. Okay. This is a part of soul work that many do. Many like to study it and then put it into incarnations in order to expand, because when you're in the physical, you end up with a different aspect of using those tools into your journey. As a soul, there are such a wide range of labels that can be used on the healers. We have some who specialize in, you've got to be kidding me. Some who specialize in restoring souls upon returning, called the restoration masters. Not all of them are masters, but they're called the restoration area. There are the reclamators. Reclamators? What the hell word is that? Seriously? I'd say that on the damn telephone. I'm going to go turn that ringer off. So, pause. Why didn't I think of that earlier, right? All right. Isn't this fun? Ha! Things you don't think of when you are doing these things. Mute. All right. Damn it. It was actually my youngest daughter calling. She was wanting my grocery list. But I messaged it to her, so she'll look and go, oh, Mom's doing that thing. Okay. So, hey, Matt. Yeah. All right. So, I haven't merged back in again because Preda was going somewhere with that. Reclamators. Reclamators. I'd never heard that term before, and I'm hearing it today. Reclamators. Reclamation. Oh, okay. All right. So these are souls who participate in reclaiming, reclaiming energetic particles back into collectives. That's a new one on me. Didn't know about that. There's also, I love seeing the classroom. So they're showing me the classroom. There's a lot of us that specialize in different healing formats depending on which incarnating world we're wanting to work with, so that you can even get more into the attunements and adjustments of planetary energetic evolutions. You guys are going to blow me. And there's some that specialize in working with it for physical forms. There's some that work with a healing energy for cosmic healing, for cosmic progressions. So they're showing me a picture of like, oh, that's like not a planet, but like particles. It might be a meteor, right? That's kind of floating around. Now this is the visual we're using to express this. So you have a mass of energy collected into a hard particle that's needing either an adjustment, a dissolution, a recreation. And so there are healers. We're talking at home now still, okay, as souls. There are some that work in that dynamic, and it helps to shift and evolve that, the cosmic energetic particles into a realignment that will benefit the entire span of space around it. Now that's a pretty cool picture. I didn't know we did that. So soul work as healers can be not just about, like we think of it in human form, of a doctor, a nurse, a veterinarian, someone being energy healers and that kind of thing. So as healers at home, for those of us who like to study in the healing fields, doesn't mean that that becomes your entire being when you're at home. It means that it's an area that you're expanding in yourself as a soul's evolution, and those tools are going to be able to be utilized within your incarnations or within your work as a soul at home. And some of us actually take it into the next layer of creation. You guys are making me laugh. That's not nice. Okay, because they're showing me that, you know, soul groups that work in the creative processes, building energy particles into various types of life forms that are going to be either added to an existing planetary realm or on a new one being developed, then often having the experiences and studying the expansion, it actually helps them to infuse the energetic particles in different ways. This is really kind of tripping me out. So that's pretty cool. Can we move to how we do this? What about? Okay. I'm hearing, don't forget to say, this is kind of like a continual evolution, revolution, evolution process that a lot of souls like to work with. So it's not like once you learn healing, you're done learning healing. because we're continually as souls evolving, and there's a re-evolving and another evolving expansions. So you might think about, you know, you might go home from this incarnation and be like, you know, the tools that I learned about healing and that I was using this time that have now become a part of my soul essence. I want to tweak them a bit, and I want to take them into this other direction, and then let me use that in another way. We have a massive amount of incarnated healers on this planet right now. A lot of them volunteered from other planetary realms, specifically to help us through this transformation. And that's why there's so many people now hearing the message and hearing the call to tap into that resource of themselves, right? Inward, up. It ain't up. It's just kind of like, whoa, but we like to think of it upward. So, and many of these healers that prefer other planetary realms that are very uncomfortable here on Earth incarnating, and yet they volunteered to come and help us do this transformation. Many of them will find that it's that inability to fit the standards of humanity that draws them into that looks like a black hole. Yeah, okay. Yeah, they're kind of going, yeah, it is like a black hole, because it's kind of a depression that helps them then reattune their soul energy to begin to be that transformative conductor. Kind of weird. Hey, hello, everybody that's joined. I'm kind of going in and out from me to them. So there's also a large group of us that like to incarnate on Earth. This person here, that we've had many lifetimes working with our healing aspect, the healer within us. And during different periods, it was really not very well received. And we keep coming back to kind of work on it a little bit more. But it's a lot about us transmuting old energy into new forms. So let's get into a little bit of that stuff. Yeah, March. Yep. Okay. There's a large portion of incarnated souls, all of you know, and we're going to talk as humans, who are using the healing attribute the healing trait of your energy within the cosmic transmutation of old paradigms and new paradigms. What this means is it does not mean that you need to change your path or your course in order to fulfill this part of your life mission. The awareness of being told, being cognitive that it's within you in your own self-exploration, does help you to then utilize your energy in different ways than you had before. Because many of you absorb energy from others, the difficult emotions, the old paradigms that are stuck within the elementals of earth density. They are shifting and changing, but they also cling. And many of you, you could see yourself as though you were the dryer sheet in your dryer that is now pulling all of those particles off of all life forms within the earth domain. And this is not limited to third dimensional energy. This is within all contexts of dimensions that surround Earth, on Earth, part of Earth, and within Earth. This also shows that because this energy is being transmuted into larger aspects, you are all pulling this up and out. That is where the reclamation masters are working within the cosmic realm along your sides. Because as you are pulling the muck up out of the soils and out of the air and out of yourselves, and old paradigms are now being expressed into formats that are beyond the mind ability to comprehend and accept. This is your cleansing period of using your healing attribute. Some of you use it in writing form. Some of you use it in art form. Some of you use it in speaking to one another. Some of you have gone into healing arts, such as energy work and such as massage and such as alternative therapies, where you are attuning not just to the physicality of a person, but into all of the realms and depths from the human and the soul aspects merged. If this comprehends to you, you will begin to notice that when you connect with someone, whether you are healing work, doing a reading, interacting with someone and having a basic conversation, you are not only pulling the old paradigms and the new paradigms into one another in order for that to release from the person, you are doing it also within, for them, in all that is surrounding you, which is why so many of you, you can talk to someone and you're like, gosh, I felt like hell after they walked away, and they felt wonderful. And that is because you were utilizing all of your tools as a healer in a soul aspect to draw out those particles, those energetic little pebbles and jewels and pearls, and you're taking them in. Now, we would caution you, but this is why we wanted her to do this session, because we would caution you, your self-care must be prominent. If anything, being told and becoming aware that your energy carries this attribute, that it is a part of your whole and a part of your higher self, it will make you aware that you are now a transformer, a transmuter, an absorber. And it will make you aware of how you're interacting, so that, yes, when that person walked away, you will not absorb it fully into your energetic body. You will have the awareness of being able to transmute that and to release it and not carry it within yourself. That is one of the big keys that gets missed as many of you awaken into various abilities and into various aspects of using this healing attribute of your soul. When you are absorbing, it becomes stuck within your own energetic process, and it is not often recognized, and it will build. If you remember the old lessons of such tales, that the healer often becomes affiliated with and ill with the work that they are doing. And we're going to talk about such as a doctor. A doctor will often be treating many, many illnesses, viruses. They're using a knowledge base that they are book taught. The healer within them is transmuting and pulling this energy. And what they don't realize is that if they are not doing their own self-care in order to be releasing that which they are transmuting, it becomes a part of their energetic body and then will build until it is reflected within the physical body. Does that make sense? The same for such as a chiropractor. A chiropractor will work on the bone structure and the nerve structure of the physical attributes. They are often attuning into the mental, emotional, and spiritual bodies. And if they are not aware in doing their own energetic self-care on all levels of all bodies, eventually they will build these same forms of illnesses within themselves. This is for energy workers. This is for all who utilize healing abilities, who are using that soul aspect in their life plan, that until you acknowledge the healer's energy and realize that you are no different than the large electrical transformer on the pole, you gather it and it becomes clothes within you. You see? So there's some who prefer to use that. But as more of you are tapping into your consciousness and your soul energy and utilizing those aspects of yourself, you're becoming more and more aware in how you use your voice, your energy, and all of your expressions. And so these tools of healer within you will help you to also transform larger amounts. The reclamation masters, this is a specialized group of healers, and often they are not in a body any longer. They took it to a different level, a different department. Really, it's more like departments, like a department store. We don't have levels, we have departments. Reclamators. Some of you know that word. She knows that word as well. Reclaimed water, reclamation. You're pulling, cleaning, changing, altering. Are you not? They have it in water now on your planet, where you can reclaim soiled water and send it through its process, and then it can be utilized to water the lawns and the flowers and such. You can't consume it, but you can reclaim it, can you not? And you use it into another form. And so this is where the reclamators are working in a collective force with the healers incarnated on this planet, because you are transforming it, darlings. You are transforming it, and it's gorgeous. It feels like shit at the moment. Yes, I know, because I hear her yell about it all the time. And yet, it's very, very important that you feel that. Now, I'm going to tell you something else. Since we have done so much work about life planning, and we've exposed her to a lot of information on it, but I want to talk about this because so many of you, in order to really tap into that healing energy within yourselves, many of you chose very, very hard, difficult, painful, suffering types of learning situations. They're only situations in your lives. And this was nothing to harm you. It was actually a help for you that you chose to work with, so that you would have a base of experiences in those darker emotions, those darker elements, those darker aspects of humanity. Because how does one transform what it doesn't know? If you can't acknowledge it, if you can't experience it, you don't know what you're transforming now, are you? You're just kind of like an outlet sitting in the wall, dormant, right? But those experiences help you to end up drawing into the range of emotional experience that delves you into your internal dialogues and will expose you into the internal you as a soul, if you're willing to look at it. Usually when you're in the middle of the thick of it, you don't really give a shit. You don't. And that's good, because you need the experience. You need to know what that felt like, so that way when you're meeting the other people that will be drawn to you, you have an actual real basis to draw from in the human experience. The soul knows it. It's the human experience and the human mind that need to be able to pull it together and understand it better. You understand? So, souls draw energetic particles, right? You are energetic particles, so why wouldn't you draw to them? Or why wouldn't they draw to you? Like a magnet, you know? And that's why you'll be often looking around and realizing that you have a lot of broken people brought to you. And you may wonder one day, going, why does it seem like everybody I meet has either had something similar to what I've experienced, or similar similar to someone else that you were involved with? And it's because you have got the tools already in order to help them open up a door. You're not doing the work for them, honey. And don't put that on yourself. No. You do your part to enable them to do theirs. All right? I'm going to step out. Well, that was prayer. My guy. That was kind of bizarre for me because we were both there. And she took over. If anybody had a question during that, You'll have to type it again because I have no idea what was going on. I heard it. So, um, maybe I need to just let her merge back again and take over because I lost wherever I was going. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to do that because, okay. Did any of that make sense? Really? Did it? Did it make sense? Thanks, Pat. Thanks, Anna. Like, okay. So, as, wow, I'm just kind of blown for a moment. My own thoughts are like, ooh, somewhere else. And Matt can tell you, this happens every time that I end up channeling that way. I lose my own train of thought because I'm not really, partly here. All right, so we're gonna do it again. Yeah, come on, baby. We're gonna shift directions a little bit. And whenever she merges back in, you'll know. You'll. Hey, I can't get freaking words to work. My speech totally shifts. My energy totally shifts. Those of you that can see or are sensitive to energy, you may feel it or notice it more. I want to get into the dynamics of areas that a lot of healers are working in, incarnated here us on the planet. And because we need that. We need to know about it. We need to know how to use those tools that are that we really wanted to work with and bring in so strongly for this. So, as we all know, we dove into the shift. This is our period of transformation, which is why it feels so shitty. I think she was touching on that. I'm kind of foggy, so bear with me. There's how do you know what kind of healer you are? What does it mean? What does that mean? It's really listening to what sparked within you brings out that attribute. That's a bullshit statement. I think that's a bullshit statement. Oh my God. I shouldn't have said this. Yes, I should. I'm getting a laugh. You're laughing at me. So, some have chosen the path of only utilizing their healing energy in being. And that's a really tough word for a lot of us to swallow. What do you mean? I need to just be, right? You're like, I'm a human. I should be like putting some kind of effort into something. There should be, should I go out and start gardens with people? Should I be working with my community? Should I be doing this or should I be doing that? And you end up getting that answer. No, you need to just be. And you're like, what the fuck, man? That's like, what? It's like empty, right? And I'm here, I go. Bretta's laughing so hard at that one. She says, because you know what? When those people pull into that being, that moment of the be, B-E, be of you, right? You are some of the healers who are transconfiguring earth energy, dimensional energy. Okay? You're pulling of both, and your energetic essence is literally taking both, doing a mix, transforming from one state into another. Okay? Energy does not dissipate, it only changes and transforms. So you are literally pulling through both of those avenues, through your energy body, and doing the transmuting and transforming. And you don't take it within yourself. You don't take it within yourself. It is a part of the energetic being process. A cloud can pull water, right? A cloud can absorb moisture, a cloud can pull water, and then it's going to rain, right? You're doing that same thing, honey. That is why they tell you to just be, because you do not need a physical action. The physical being, the physical being is only in need of self-care and expression, allowing their essence to not get too static within all of the chaos, right? Many of you that do this, that have received this type of message, you find yourselves kind of isolating a little bit, don't you? You kind of pull off into areas that allow you a space, a harmonic space for yourself. And that's the key for you, is creating that harmonic space. You can be busy, be all interactive, doing and saying and loving and all those wonderful things, but you have that need that you have to pull into kind of an isolated bubble on and off in order for your battery to continue. And that's because on another level, your energetic being is doing all of this wrong, transforming. And it releases it. There are those who are attuned to working with elemental energy. Okay, this is a different one. This is another way of a healer using that soul attribute, okay, in the physical form. So these ones, you may find them, and we're talking elemental, okay? So elemental relating to the earth, incarnation on the planet. You have elements, right? You've got fire, air, water, metal, ether, and earth, right? So there are those of you who utilize your energy into transmuting and transforming elemental particles, okay? Energetic particles. And they, you'll notice that attribute if you're someone who, you walk into a forest and the forest is looking so dull at the moment and it's looking muddy or it feels muddy, right? And by the time you've walked through the forest and got to the other side, when you turn around and look back, you're noticing all of its vibrancy. It's no longer feeling muddy, correct? As you were perusing through there, you were doing an energetic shift of those particles. You were providing healing to all of the elemental beings, trees, flowers, leaves, animal, rock, water, earth, right? Elements. They need help too. Why wouldn't they? Especially when you're in the middle of a transformational period for not just you as humans, but as a collective, for the planet, for even other realms beyond this area. I always like to throw that in there. It makes you wonder, where else do I go? And there's a lot of them. So you have people that are like that. And so the more time that they spend in nature, they are cleansing those natural elements and helping those energetic particles to realign within themselves. So see, not all healers are working on a physical body. And they're not all working on an energetic body either. They can be working with collective energies. Collectives. There are some who are also here who are only focused on Gaia, on Mother Earth. And that's a beautiful thing because she needs help. And it may not be for you. And that's something you need to acknowledge because there's a lot of people that'll go, oh, you know what, if you're a healer, you need to be doing this, this, and this to help the planet, to help the collective, to help all of humans, to do all of these things. Darling, you all have your jobs. You all have your jobs. You all have different areas, and you all have different paths in succeeding in those transformationals and using more healing abilities. It doesn't mean that you have to do any checklist. The checklist is you. You are your own checklist. Now here's something a lot of healers don't like to hear about, but it's necessary that I need to bring this up. The council is very, very present in wanting this piece of information to be expressed. because it will help all of you in your journeys, and especially our beautiful healers. There's billions of you. Now, the hard part of utilizing the healer within you when you are within a physical body is that you yourself are also on that continual healing journey for yourself, for your co-participants, for your adversaries, and all timelines that you are participating in. And we bring this up not to overwhelm you. We don't want to overwhelm you. We want you to utilize that information to understand that your journey is vital in your healing that you do for others, for the planet, for yourself, however that tool is being utilized in this current life journey. And it can make it hard because you can have healed aspects of yourself, right? And you think that they're done. And you can go, oh, whew, that one's off the plate. And then it'll come back up later. And that is on purpose because it is allowing you to tap into more of who you are, more of what your soul's entire being is about. It can help you to connect more to your higher self. It can help you to evolve. Not only the current incarnation, but you actually will evolve the other yous, because energy is always in motion. All of your other beings, all the other yous, can utilize when you're being true to and authentic to the healer that you are. Some of us, some of you, small soul, utilize this in some format. But there isn't a one way, and that's been getting muddy. It's been getting a little muddy in the interpretation, and we understand why, and that's fine. It is working its way, but just remember for your own personal self, if someone is telling you it must be this way, you need to pause, use your discernment. These are tools that your human body has, and it can be glorious to utilize. And then listen to your heart, listen to your soul energy expressing itself within you, and you will find that blink will lead you where your healing abilities, your tool bag is going to have its greatest potential within you. So if you feel drawn to only working with animals, then do so. If you feel drawn to only utilizing your energy within creative processes, whether it be writing, artwork, graphics, movies, you name it, whatever those attributes are, move into it, and you will find that the healer within you just begins to exude itself. and you feel it so much more, and it becomes so much easier to become that transformer within you and not cling on to all the crap that they're giving you, you see? Going to let all of that you've absorbed just stick and cling and be a bunch of baggage. You're not. You're going to be looking in the bag and going, yes, okay, I'm done with this. And you hand it off. And the reclamators will take those particles and bring them into a full cohesive energetic particle that can then be brought into a different format or utilized in a different way, whether it's on the planet or at home or in one of the other dimensions. It really doesn't matter, but the energy will end up getting reutilized in a new way. We really want to express to you that by tapping into the healer that is within yourself, it can really change your perception of others and your own circumstances that have occurred in your life. It can help you see the times that you were a victim and reassess them, which changes the energy of it. So you perhaps, as a teenager, let's say, you felt very victimized, and that memory has always remained painful within who you are. And you're carrying it into your other relationships and into your adulthood and into your work, or however it's being utilized, right? So when you acknowledge it and you begin to see it from the healer aspect, you also transform that energy from no longer being a victim, which heals you, right? Self-healing. And acknowledge it for the experiences and the emotional gain, the range that it has allowed you to reach, right? There again, you've now transmuted and transformed that energy. Now it's got a different charge and pulse to it. The harmonics change, the vibration of it changes. It's a completely different frequency of memory. You're not wanting to forget, you're wanting to transmute. Then you can utilize that nugget, that little pod of particles into a new expression, because it no longer has the victim, no longer has the need of pulling you into deconstruction. Because you do that a lot as humans, you end up finding that you're pulling back and forth within yourself between memories, victims and abusers, and all of these other interactions and labels. When you put the labels aside and you are able to tap into the energetic essence of it, realize as a healer that this was gaining an experience in a physical way to then transform, you into another period. It's going to help you in another point. And when you've transmuted that energy, it now has a different pulse to it. And you can utilize it in all kinds of glorious ways to help others or yourself. You see? But energy healers have a different attribute, and they the more that you work with it, the more that you're finding that it's similar to like if you were rearranging DNA particles, if that makes any sense. And it's not so much that you're doing it, it's that you are the conduit that the other soul energy and universal energy and even other healers that are within the universal realms, not in a physical body, are able to then use you as though you are the scalpel of the surgeon, right? You're not the surgeon. You're not the patient. You're the scalpel. And that is a wonderful place to find yourself or to help your own personal essence be able to stay grounded in the work, is by allowing yourself to be the clear tool, the clear conduit for the other two to come together in a middle space. And then just as a very skilled surgeon, your scalpel that is you is only going to be able to slice and dice what all sides are allowing, right? I'm sure many of you have experienced someone coming to you and it just seemed like nothing was working, no matter how hard you tried, no matter how much you tapped in, right? Like, I don't understand. It's very good for you to take those moments and do your self-reflection, do a check-in with you, but also don't forget that there again, you're the scalpel. And just because this person came to you wanting healing, there may have been resistance that is not being acknowledged. Resistance not being acknowledged within them. Okay? There may also be, and we bring this up because our channel has had this and still has it, and it makes her upset. But there is the other aspect of it, that some areas are not able to have the healing and clearing that they're assisting upon because it has tools still being utilized by the soul in the incarnation. And that is a very tough place to find yourself in as the healer, as being that conduit for the healing experience. Because you don't know what they signed up for, you're just connecting for them. But their higher self, their guides, their support team, your support team that's working with you, may be sitting there holding that bag going, this is still being utilized. It's still a very strong tool. We are not in a mode to be able to shift that yet, because the physicality is not aware that this is still in process and it's still needing to be a process in their life. That's a tough spot, isn't it? She's been through that many times. Now she finally got to the point of acceptance, and it's much better. but the tool is still there, you see. So some have that, and you have to be in a good place to be able to slowly bring that awareness to them. Because many people will resist it. What do you mean I'm still using that? What do you mean I have to carry? What? But that's not your place to do that work for them. You can only bring the awareness that understand this tool is still being utilized by you and your higher self. And if you want to make this change, or you want to delve into this healing process, you're the one that's going to have to initiate it in a different way. Most often it's going within, in order for a healing facilitator to actually be of use. You see? So it may not be meant in that moment. It doesn't mean it could never be healed. It doesn't mean that you can't bring other things to the table. And it doesn't mean that person doesn't still need assistance. But what you were trying, what they initially came to you for, you need to stop and reassess and work with them that perhaps this tool, even yourself, may not be the right tool in this moment. Perhaps there's another. Maybe there's self-tools being recommended. And so you hand them the information that you're feeling. You hand that to them and you let them know, I'm here. When you're ready, when you've gotten through a little bit of this other muck, let's revisit it and see. Right? Because they may need to acknowledge some areas for themselves that you as the conduit are not, you're not in a spot that's for it to be exposed. They have to do that in a different way. And that's very hard when you're in your humanness to have to do that and say, I'm sorry, but right now this is not feeling, the connection is not where it needs to be. And I'm feeling like you may be best benefit in using some of these other avenues, even some of these self avenues to explore. And then let's revisit it and see where you are. And perhaps then the energy can shift, even just a slight bit. But to try to force it to happen, more often it's going to reverberate back. You know, there's always the balance within energy and exchange. So remember, you're that electrical outlet being utilized in that moment, and nothing more. Don't beat yourself up when you can't heal someone else. Because in that moment, that is not what was needed. And sometimes you have to just go, okay, and back off. So there are those things. And there's also, she wanted me to talk about something else. Oh, yes. You know, it's kind of fun when you can flip through someone's mind and thoughts when you're using them. Okay, so another aspect she did want to bring up, and we're going to dive into that right now. And this is the abundance of earthbound beings that are not all, you know, they weren't all humans one time, but earthbound beings that are still in their energetic body that many of you have been running into or noticing or picking up on or being told about or all these other aspects. And that is a combination going on within your planet because during this purge, and it very much is like a purge, you know, some of you have done body cleansings and your body purges all this crap out, correct? Well, that's what's happening. You've got this major shift of transformation going on, not just on the physical level, but on every level of your planet. And that is also taking all of those bound energies that have been doing the push and pull or wanting to remain or whatever their reason for wanting to stay within the lower dimension and interacting on an earthbound level without having rejoined the home energetic body. Many of you in your studies have heard of when a renovation goes on in an old house, that suddenly the spirits are stirred up and they're causing a little chaos and all of that because you didn't ask about renovating it, right? You've heard of those things. This is the same, it's just on a global level. And you'll notice that different areas have a more high active volume than others, right? And different parts of the planet have more of them stuck than others, and it really depends on, there's too many to list. But anyway, so many of you are noticing stuck energies and having to cleanse energies and having to cross energies, right? Beings, particles. The reclamationers, they are doing their work as best they can, but any consciousness that's stuck to the earthbound plane, they have their choice, right? Because we honor the free will of all. With this paradigm, this purge and cleanse transformation, that will take years of your time. These beings and energies are getting pushed up, exposed, brought out. And just like in a renovation of a home, some of them are getting a little pissed off because they don't want to move to the higher vibrations again. Those things here that they've remained a part of for so long that home doesn't even register within their energetic essence. And so this calling, this transformational paradigm that is pushing and merging energy up out of places that has been very dormant and very comfortable for a long period of time is being exposed to all of you. People are beginning to, those who are awakened are really beginning to notice this. You know? And honestly, it's a very good thing. You don't need to send them all home. Okay? You do your part as the transformer that you are. You assist those that you can assist, and the others, if you are unable to, darlings, then you need to let it go. You can call on any of us at home to come and take over, take your place in that interaction. just be aware that this is a part of that cleanse, this cleaning process, because just as your physical body has to have, from the blood to the livers and the kidneys and all of those fun little bodies and the digestive system and all of those need a cleanse, you're looking at a larger body, a collective body, an earth body, that is doing that same process. The only difference is you probably have the pile of poop sitting right outside your door. And whatever, whether it be earth or energetic, it's got to expel somewhere, right? Because then that's how we can take those particles and transmute them. It doesn't stay still, it's got to be in motion. So there is a lot on your plate. And we're not going to lie to you and sugarcoat it, because this channel would get very upset. Transformational periods are very hard on healers. So many of you have the clairsentience full blown in your energy. And you must find a way to balance yourself within this continual flow, this continuum of transformation. And we say that love because it's going to be about some things are really going to hurt. They're really going to hurt the heart. And you've got. But that's why there are billions of you working on this. There are billions of you, not just in body, but those that are at home, that are working together and working so hard to help all of you and in allowing this magnetic paradigm to shift. So I hope this has been helpful in helping you to understand when you were told that you were a healer, what it meant and how to interpret it for yourself. Because no matter what we're going to bring forward, it always is going to come back to the answer that's within you in how to bring it forward. So I know that little one is personal. So I'm going to depart. And I send you all many blessings. And I would say, what brings you down can also lift you up. And I think that would be the word part. Okay, I'm here. I'm fully here. I love prayer. Thanks, Matt. So I hope she gave you guys some good. Yes, Lydia. Yes, I see your comment right there about the validation that some folks are not ready to receive healing. You know, my healing journey has gone on for like, you know, let's see, my accident was in '85, but I've been really on a steady trying to work on it for 20 years, right? And I have had that so many times. Oh, you need to do it this way. Or, oh, you haven't done that yet. Or, oh, oh my goodness. And when I did, let's see, I did a QHHT session, excuse me, working on it, did some past life regressions working on it. And it was so funny because here they get to the part of, you know, like talking to your guide or your master guide or asking about the, you know, for healing and everything. And they went, no. I heard it on the recording one time, but I was just like, well, okay, no. And then I found out, you know, and then, you know, we'll see, where when I've done it again and it's come up and they're like, no, this is a tool that is really important for her. She's still, it's got value. It's being utilized in the way that, you know, it was intended. And that was kind of when I went, oh, okay. And I started working on flipping my switch about it, that it wasn't something wrong with me, that it wasn't something that needed to be fixed, that needed to be changed. And instead started going, okay, if this is a tool that I'm utilizing that's important, then I guess I need to kind of suck it up and come to the point of acceptance, you know? Because I was fighting it like it was wrong and it was to be expelled and I need to get rid of this and it should be fixed. And then that point of me reaching and instead go doing that internal self-dialogue, connecting work of then going, wait a minute, they're saying I'm still using this. Then I think, and using Abraham, right? Abraham Hicks, vortex, it's all in your vortex, right? What's in the vortex? Then I need to be looking at how I'm addressing this and stop fighting against it like it's something bad and come to this point of acceptance that this is another tool. It's a part of my journey. It's a part of me. It's being useful in a way I may not agree with or like sometimes, but I need to come to that point. And I did that. And I'm still doing it. It's a progression. It's a continual progression that you're working on of that acceptance. And the more that I got into that mode, that okay, when I have a flare up, when I have when it's all coming into a peak, up, wait, stop. I need to back up. I need to look at what I'm doing. I need to do self-care. I need to put everything else aside, and I need to pay attention to me. And it's okay. Giving yourself permission. That's another big one, Lydia. With the acceptance, giving yourself permission that it's okay. Because I know a lot of this, especially being the mom and the worker and this title and that title and everything else, and you're going this way and that way and this way and that way, and you're like, I don't have time. That was one of my big things. I don't have time to deal with you. I don't have time for this illness. I don't have time for that. I don't have time to be in pain. I needed, and I pushed through it for years and made myself worse. And instead, when I came to the giving myself permission, giving myself acceptance, I've had less flare-ups. I have lived with a headache for 30 years, every day, continual headache. 30 years, that fucker. And it would be like, okay, what grade is it today? Oh, we're at a 2. 2's awesome. 2. I love a 2. I can do anything. Today, man, we're up at 15. Fuck 10, man. We're in bed. I hated it. And I fought against it. I did all these other things. And then now that I've gotten to this point of permission, acceptance, using it, okay, I'm using this as a tool. It's teaching me a lot of things about myself. I've had less flare-ups. Let's see, I haven't been laid up in bed in a year and a half. Has it been that long, or is it longer? Might be 2 years now since my last episode of ending up in bed. So those for me were big keys that helped change it. And I also, as being a healer, I had that wake up call. Oh, did you know you're a healer? And I was like, what are you talking about? I count money. I collect money. What my career was. When I got into doing hands-on healing, doing Reiki, doing massage work, I was still fighting my own conditions, helping other people where I couldn't get help. And I did that whole depletion till I crashed. Because there again, I was giving more than I was receiving. I was giving to the point that I was exhausting every part of myself. And I had a point where I literally woke up in the morning and I couldn't move. Like everything from probably here up, couldn't move. It was skewed. I was in so much pain. I was crying. I remember calling my husband and just going, I'm in so much pain. And that whole absorbing everything off of people that I was working on, that whole exasperating and giving so much of myself that I wasn't paying attention to my own downtime. Wow, talk about a crash. Yeah. I ended up off work for a month. No, I only took 3 weeks off. And I forced the doctor that I was working with, because I was working in a doctor's office, a chiropractor office, I forced him to let me come back to work. I was just like, no, I can't afford this. I have to come back. And he was like, you should still be in bed for another couple of weeks. What are you talking about? Let's dive right back in. And then I had to hit that point of quitting work completely because I did it again. Crash and burn. You know, they're looking at me and going, you know, you're high risk, you all these things going on, you gotta stop. So I totally get it where a lot of you are at. And for those of you that have, you know, been doing healing work, energy work, you know, and those that have done readings with me about that stuff, and that comes up a lot about your self-care. And it, you know, I understood it from the human side of it, from my experience with it. But I'm gonna have to listen to this video myself, because when Preta really kind of merged, it was kind of like doing a full trance channel, but I was usually when I trance channel, I like disappear. I go into like a dormant deep sleep, moved off, and I don't remember anything. But because I didn't want to disappear today, I was kind of here. But you know, it's kind of like hearing something through muffs, big earmuffs, you know, or like you're in the water and you can only hear a muddled version of the words. That's kind of how I'm at today for what was said. But some of the things, the little pieces I can grab onto still, I get it. I get that. Fucking hey, words just back out. Where was I going with that? I get it. Let's just leave it at that. I kind of get it. What was going on with my own stuff. So, all right. Well, it's been a little while, and I know some other people signed in and some left, and so I want to say hi and bye, and I hope you catch the video. But before I sign off, I do want to open it up if anybody has any questions that we can answer before signing off today that might have bleh. Yeah, go ahead and type them. I have a little tea. We'll have a little couple moments here and see if anybody has any questions before I sign off and become a marshmallow for the rest of the day. It's kind of how my everything like goes. So, do you guys have any questions? And don't forget, I'm still open to any suggestions of topics for these events, sessions. Can a healer help someone with cancer? Well, Pat, I would have to say yes and no. Cancer is one of those really tough diseases because it does have a lot to do with the emotional body and physical body and mental. You know, they're really all layers, but let's get into that a little bit. A healer can only facilitate the healing that the individual is able and willing to accept, right? Conduit, the outlet. But cancer in particular has many layers in how it becomes in a person. So for some, it can be a lot of emotional trauma that's linking in with the body's processes of nourishment as well. So you're looking at emotional and physical nourishment, right? Can create this disease. There are other factors. So with something like cancer, for the individual, if they're wanting to cure their cancer, they are going to need to address a lot of internal dialogue, looking at their environment, looking at their diet. Diet's a big one. And the energetic body. So yes, a healer can help someone with cancer if the client is willing to receive and participate. Because healers are only the facilitators and the transformers. And the individual has to make their own commitment to their healing. There is that other flip side that if this is being utilized as a tool by the soul, a lot of times physical body consciousness is not aware that they're using that as a tool, right? If it's got a greater purpose of learning and teaching for the individual and its co-participants, then it becomes more of a utilized tool, a teaching tool. Virus in the plant, people consume the plant, it transfers fluid. Yeah. We've, I really hate cancer because we created cancer. Humans, us, yeah, that's ours. And it's one of those ones that I really don't like because well, yeah, Lydia, you're right. Cancer cannot exist in an alkaline body. And I'm also going to say another piece of that puzzle is the breath. Because disease in the body, disease in the blood, does not like oxygen. Oxygen is its nemesis. So that's where we hear a lot of people saying about, doing deep breathing methods and the yoga breath and the qigong breath and the Tibetan monk breath and all of this, okay? Because yes, the better that we're breathing also alkalines the body. So for a person with cancer, there's all these layers in how that disease formed for them, okay? Because it's not a blueprint and it's not exactly the same way for every person that ends up with that disease. And a healer can help as long as the patient is willing. Because yeah, you do have to address like a whole shitload of stuff in order to beat it. It can be predisposed in the DNA of the bloodline as well. And hereditary markers are often more sole choice of a potential that they might be able to activate and work with to use it as a teaching tool or learning, or really lessons and teaching are the two halves of the same equation. Okay, there is no one or the other. They're a constant. So yeah, there are some of us that actually choose it to utilize it as a learning and a teaching mechanism. And it's a really shitty one. It's hard. It's hard physically. It's hard on everybody involved. But it has the potential of bringing great realizations. That sucked. That was a good one. Great question. Love the extra input because, yes, you guys are very right. And yeah, cannabis does help because of its chemical basis. And that's one of the things why I use supplements and herbs for all of my daily living. Because now I've never been a religious person, but I've always known that everything I needed is here in a plant form, in a living, breathing form, one way or another. Yes, Pat. Yes. Yes, it could still be in the person's destiny. Yes. And don't worry, because the video, when we're done and I sign off, it'll take it a few minutes on Facebook, but then the video will post on my page where you're viewing it. And it should be in the videos, available in the videos tab as well. So you can always come back and watch it and stop it and replay or whatever you want to do if you want to catch some other tears. Will that person's guide communicate through the healer? Sometimes yes. Sometimes yes. It really depends on if it's going to, some healers don't hear. I mean, some healers don't pay attention to the messages they're receiving. Okay. So it really depends on who you're working with. But, and usually it's presented a little different than saying that they can't be healed. You know, usually it'll be something more like, this is a tool that you're still using that's going to be of benefit. You know, they try to bring it in a helpful way rather than you just going like, dude, no, just give it up. Fuck that. So I took it in terms of cannabis as being like a Trojan horse for good. Are you talking about cannabis, October? It'll make you feel like you don't give a shit. Okay, big cannabis candidate, user, everything else. Okay, it's there, public. And honestly, like for me, because of the chronic pain that I have with the damage to my neck, for me, it all, because my nerves are like full blast on all the time, like you have them screaming at you. And for me, everything goes soft. And I'm not feeling all bound up and tight. It all goes whoosh. And then I can clean my house and I can write and I can do all my daily stuff without being in pain because everything else has calmed down. And I have to say, that's along the side of the supplements I take, which I take a lot of turmeric and I take a lot of other things. And this is just how, for me, how it works and how what I'm doing for the conditions I have work best for me, because I'm a big person that I need to have my cognitive thinking. I need to be able to just pop stuff and I don't like not having clear thought. And I know that sounds really contradictory to what most people understand of the effect of cannabis, but actually I'm more clear because the neurotransmitters are now like nice and smooth versus the chaotic that for me is a norm. And that's just, that's just for me. And it may work that way for other people too. I have my stepdad has severe PTSD from Vietnam, and he tried all the different drugs and the therapies and everything else. And my mom was just like, and he tried to quit smoking cannabis, and after a couple months, she put her foot down and told the doctors no more, and put him back on cannabis. And we will never allow him to go off of it, because having that little bit once, twice a day, right? So I'm not talking about getting up in the morning and smoking a bowl or smoking a joint and, staying stoned all day long, okay? We're talking about using much more in a medical cognitive of, because even when I worked, I smoked cannabis, but I didn't smoke cannabis before I went to work, when I was at work, or anything like that. It was after I got home when I could allow myself to come out of that screaming body. And like for him, for the PTSD, and the nightmares and all of that stuff, by him having cannabis once or twice a day, along with his other supplements, like St. John's wort, his temperament is much better. He's able to keep his triggers more subdued and in a controllable alignment. Okay. So no shrooms. I did try shrooms. I've done shrooms twice. Was it twice? Or 3 times? Twice. One time when I was young, like 11, 12. I'm the youngest, so, my sisters were doing shrooms with a bunch of kids, a bunch of teens, and I drank the iced tea that was left in the glass, not realizing, not really knowing, ended up tripping. And then I tried shrooms again in my adulthood. 34, 35 years old, I think. And at that point, for me, I had a really bad reaction. I didn't have a bad trip. I had a bad initial reaction, and I think it had to do with because I drank it with red wine. The mushroom was in a glass of red wine. You crush it, but whatever. So where before it had been brewed in a tea, iced tea, and it really that later time, because my stomach was still so tweaked out, I think a lot of it had to do with I had way too much going on in my head and emotionally, because I was just out of the divorce and dealing with I was already with Brandon. We were living together because he and I did them together. But you have all that chaos of exes and picking up kids and doing this and doing that, and we had the weekend alone, and we did it. And I was too fucked up in my own emotional shit at the time to actually enjoy it, which is why my digestive system was rejecting it. But honestly, regular shrooms can, give you a lot of internal insight if you're in a good place and you have someone with you that is familiar with how it works to be able to kind of help you. You can have some phenomenal mind-bending meditations when you're on the thing. We usually put cartoons on the TV and laughed and laughed and laughed because the colors are like home. They breathe. You see, yeah. So that's that. That was a tangent off on another track. But October and I tend to do that if we talk like 4 hours. So, any other questions? So we're hitting 2 hours, and yeah, there goes the brain fight. That's what happens when you channel. You get a little spacey because I can still hear them around. So, all right. I think we should wrap this up. We have, whatever. Our next session next week, which is how to find joy in every day. And so we're going to talk about the emotion joy, how to work at becoming joy, and also with all this chaos going on in the world, how do we still find joy in every day so that we can actually sleep at night with all the shit. So that one's coming up. And then I have another one planned, which is on a Sunday, which is what is the difference between spirituality and religion? That one's going to be some deep shit. And then I'm not sure what's coming after that because I haven't heard yet. Usually I get messages about it that are like, hey, write this one. So other than that, if any of you have any suggestions, message me on my public page, my private page, my email, whatever you want to use. See what we can add to the calendar. All right. So I'll catch you guys later. Okay. Namaste, babies. Love you. Bye.